So I am Brandon Calitz. I am the Director of Operations for North America. We basically, it's a franchise company that does cost reduction for big clients. So our typical franchisee comes in, goes to a big client, tries to save their money on their bottom line, their non-core costs, and then our franchisees share the savings in that for 50% of the savings for 2 years while those projects run. So my role is to keep them in line and make sure they follow the franchise guidelines and make sure they follow our processes and things like that. So it's every day is a new day, I guess. So the way our model works is we collect general ledger data from clients and then we analyze their spends in there to see where we could save their money, right? So we've developed a tool called Spend View, which is a Tableau online dashboard, which you plug in a template, you hit refresh, and it kicks out all the savings calculations and things like that based on our 30 years of data that we had backed up and, just different categories, different companies, and different suppliers. So what we needed was, the problem was we were getting data sets that had 2,000, 3,000 suppliers or vendor names. And for us to sit and manually go through that every single time to update like Staples, for instance, to say that they do office supplies, for 2,000, 3,000 lines at a data set, we were getting like 8 or 9 of these a week. So that was the biggest time holdup for us to kick these projects out. So we needed something to be automated. It wasn't as easy as a simple VLOOKUP or something in Excel. And then I got introduced to Navidus about 3 years ago through a franchisee, and I spoke with, I think it's Chris Horn, probably. Yes, that's his name. And I said, look, not now, we're not looking for anything, but thanks, I'll keep you in mind. And when this project came around, I was like, I think I got the right guy for this. I reached out to Chris, and I think within a month or two of chatting, we had the bot up and running and going. So it was very good. So now Navidus created a bot for us where we plug in all these vendor names. It runs it against the database and it kicks out the products and services, and then we can update it as needed and send it back so the bot keeps learning for future projects. I think it was pretty easy. I think, we had a couple of calls. I'd say we had probably calls for about 2 weeks or so with Sanjay and the team and Bill, and we scoped it out, saw what we wanted, got the documents in place, had to get sign off, the payments, all that type of stuff. But I think once the bot was up and running, we had, from the time they said it was up and running, we tested it, it worked perfectly, and it was running. So, there wasn't any real back and forth, hey, sometimes failed, and then we just sent a note to the team, and the next day they'd say we fixed the problem and it's learned for next time. So it was very easy, actually. It was we had the scope, the implementation of it, I think, very quick. Our time went from, which was the biggest savings, I think we were turning data sets around into a dashboard between, I'd say, 15 to 30 business days. And now with the bot, we can get it turned around. If it's a US data set, there's still some nuances with the European data set because of how they do their accounting systems, but that's not got anything to do with the bot. But right now we can turn a data set with the bot's help around in about 5 days. So we've cut that down by about 3 or 4 times the time it used to take. But we've analyzed over $11 billion of spend. We've actually saved so far close to $800 million for our clients that signed up using SpendView. We've signed up 261 projects through this tool, basically using the bot every time, loading it up and kicking it out. Client says, I love what you guys do, sign me up, and it's amazing. So it's been a game changer. Normally with our company, we normally go to a client, we're like, look, we can help you in 40 different categories is what we have and what we can offer because we're worldwide. And most of the time the clients would be like, okay, let's just look at, say, electricity and office supplies or whatever the case may be. So we're getting an average of about 2 projects per contract. And with SpendView and the help of the bot, we're now sitting at about 8.16 projects per contract. So it's really increased our revenue, our projects, our workload. even with our franchise sales, we're selling more franchises because the people that are willing to buy a franchise come in, we show them Spendview, they're like, that's the reason I'm buying the franchise. So it's been really brilliant. It's really helped us out a lot. Without the bot, I think we'd still be stuck in the dark ages doing XR, I guess. I think it delivered exactly what we wanted, plus more in terms of ease of use. And the fact that, I think we've been running it now for, I would say, close on a year probably. And during that year, we've had a few changes here and then and things like that. We're busy doing another change right now where we want to have a drop down of categories that people can select from to help us out, and linking subcategories and core categories and all of that. So they're busy working on that right now. And I believe we asked the question last week, Friday, and I think Sanjay came back and said that he should have something for us by tomorrow. So, a week turnaround for that. And, he has the price, we paid, it's done, and it's running the next day. So it's been very, very smooth. The team's great. They're very responsive. There's a lot of knowledge running around there, I believe, with this coding and programming and stuff. And the AI part of it, I guess, is where the whole world going with ChatGPT and all this stuff that's coming out these days, right? So, I spoke to Chris, like I said, about 3-4 years before we even thought about this, and now we're using it. So, just keeping that contact and stuff like that. I think the customer service is great. The response time is awesome. And, if we have a problem, it's not just like, oh, we'll deal with it next week. It's like, okay, we'll fix it right now. And that's why I think I would definitely recommend it just to anybody else.